Once upon a time, in a Nigerian village called Ama, in Amaka, a young woman who is married to Obiora. They have two children, a boy and a girl. But things are difficult for them. They barely feed 3 times a day. They were extremely poor. Their mother, Ndidi Amaka, took a decision that destroyed her family. At their small hut, Ndidi Amaka sits by a fire, mending clothes, tears streaming down her face. Obiora paces restlessly, frustration aching lines on his forehead. Chike and Chidimma cuddle sitting together, their faces reflecting the family's despair. Obiora said to Ndidi Amaka, "How long will this go on? The children barely have enough to eat." Ndidi Amaka replied to him, "I know, my husband, but what can I do? The harvest have failed again." Obiora said to her, "Everyone says Ekweme, the rich merchant, is blessed by the gods. Maybe." Ndidi Amaka cut him short immediately. She said to her, "No, Obiora, don't even think it. They say he's dabbles in darkness to get his wealth." Obiora asked her, "Darkness? Like wishes and magic?" Chidimma, on the other hand, places a comforting hand on Chike's shoulder and said to him, "Don't worry, little brother. Mother and father will find a way. Everything will be fine." Desperate for money, Ndidi Amaka decided to see Inaka, a wise village herbalist, a seer with the knowledge of the occult. Ndidi Amaka nervously sits on a woven mat across from Inaka, who stares into a steaming pot. Ndidi Amaka said to the old woman, "Please, there has to be a way out of this poverty. My children are suffering." The old woman replied to her, "The spirit whispers a part in Ndidi Amaka, but it demands a sacrifice, a life force intertwined with your own." Ndidi Amaka asked her, "Whose life force?" The old woman said to her, "Your daughter, Chidimma. She's blessed with a strong destiny, but it can be offered to appease the spirit of wealth." Ndidi Amaka screamed, "Chidimma, my only daughter. No, I can't." The old woman said to her, "You have little choice, Ndidi Amaka. This is the path to save your family. But be warned, defying the true destiny of one you love has a heavy price." Ndidi Amaka now decided to seek a poor man's help out of desperation. He said to Ndidi Amaka, "So you have come to accept my offer. Wise decision." Ndidi Amaka replied to him, "I have no choice. My family." Ekweme chuckles and replied to her, "Don't worry. A simple ritual will redirect some of your daughter's luck. Soon, prosperity will flow to you. But remember, there is always a price." Ekweme performs a chant holding a strain of Chidimma's hair that Ndidi Amaka brought. Months later, Ndidi Amaka's family lives in a slightly better hut. However, misfortune plagued Chidimma. Her attempts at trade constantly fail. Her stall catches fire. Her crop wither, and every romantic pursuit ends in a bad way. Despite her beauty, love seems to pass her by. Frustration and despair cloud Chidimma's eyes. With anger, Chidimma asked her mother, "Why, mother? Why do I fail at everything? Is there a curse on me?" replied to her, looking away, avoiding Chidimma's face. No, child, it is just bad luck. It will soon be okay, don't worry. He burst in immediately. He shouted, Mother, Mother, Father has left Lagos. He said he has a chance to work for a rich man there. A glimmer of hope flickers in Ndidiamaka's eyes. Perhaps, in the bustling city, their fortune would change. And she said yes to Chike, her son. But soon, the hope is short-lived. Days later, the family seated around the television in the neighbor's hut. A news report flashes on the screen, showing a severely damaged car. The name Obiora Aneke listed among the casualties. Didiamaka screamed and tears rolled down her cheek. Chidimma goes numb. A horrifying realization dawned on her. Weeks passed in a blur of grief and poverty. Chidimma, consumed by bitterness and grief from her father's demise and her misfortune, wanders alone on a dusty path at dusk. Contemplating a drastic step, she nears a well, its dark depth beckoning. Suddenly, a voice interrupts her. It was Inaka, the wise woman, standing beside the well, her wise eyes filled with concern. She said to her, Chidimma, child, turn away from that. Suicide won't solve your problems. Chidimma, with tears running down her cheeks, said to her, the wise one, why? Why does my life have to be like this? Everything is going wrong in my life. The wise woman replied to her, child, there was a mistake. Your mother made a terrible choice, one fueled by fear and desperation. But destiny is not easily broken. It can be bent, twisted, but not forever destroyed. Inaka, the old woman, explains the ritual with Ekweme and the consequences. Chidimma became furious. She said, so my mother is to blame for all this suffering? The wise woman replied to her, it is not that simple, Chidimma. Your mother loved you. Her intention was to save your family. But Ehueme's magic is malevolent. It wrapped the parts meant for both you and your father. As Chidimma got home, standing across from her mother, her eyes blazing with resentment, she said to her mother, so it is true, you did this to me. You stole my future for a few coin? Ndidiamaka collapsed on her knees, sobbing. She said to Chidimma, forgive me, my daughter. I was scared. I only wanted a better life for our family, for you. But I was a fool. I listened to the whisper of darkness. Chidimma replied to her mother, it is too late for apologies. Look what you have done. Ndidiamaka said to her, there might be a way. Inaka, the wise woman, spoke of setting things right, but it requires a sacrifice, a greater one than before. At dawn, Ndidiamaka walked towards Nneka's hut with a resolute look on her face. Chidimma watches her from behind as she goes, a flicker of hope battling against the years of pain. On reaching there, Inaka, the old woman, performs a complex ritual. Ndidiamaka stands beside her, determined to right her wrongs. Chidimma observes from afar, her heart pounding in her chest. Inaka chants in an ancient tongue, throwing herbs and animal bones into a flaming bowl. The air cracks with raw energy. As Ndidiamaka reaches out to place a hand on the bowl, Inaka, the wise woman, stopped her. She said to her, "This sacrifice, Ndidiamaka, is not of blood but of life. You must give up your remaining years to mend the broken thread of destiny." Ndidiamaka hesitates, fear battling with her love for her daughter. Chidimma choked and she was sobbing. Finally, understanding the true cause of redemption, she said with a trembling voice, "If it means Chidimma can live the life she deserves, I accept." Ndidiamaka closes her eyes, tears streaming down her face as she absorbed the heat from the flaming bowl. The air simmers around her and a gasp escapes Chidimma's lips. As quickly as it began, the ritual ends. Nneka looks at Chidimma, her eyes filled with sorrow. She said to Chidimma, "Your mother has paid the price, but the path ahead won't be easy. It will take time and effort to break free from the curse." Chidimma rushes to her mother, who lies unconscious on the floor. She screamed, "Mother, what have you done?" Ndidiamaka gave her a weak smile. She said to her, "Live, Chidimma, my daughter. Live the life I couldn't give you. Fulfill your destiny." Ndidiamaka's hand goes limp. Chidimma cries out in anguish, holding her mother's lifeless body. The weight of her mother's sacrifice settles upon her. Months later, a renewed Chidimma stands tall in a bustling marketplace. She sells beautifully crafted clay pots, her hands moving with practiced ease. Unlike before, customers flock to her stall, admiring her work and striking fair deals. A spark of joy shines in Chidimma's eyes. Chike, her younger brother, approaching her with a beaming smile, he said to her, "Sister, look at all these people buying your pots." Chidimma laughs and replied to him, "It seems things are finally going well, Chike, thanks to mother's sacrifice and Nneka's guidance." Nneka, on the other hand, joins them, her face filled with wisdom. She said to Chidimma, "Your mother's love broke the curse, Chidimma, but it was your own resilience that carved a new path." Chidimma replied to her, "I know Nneka the wise one. I won't let her sacrifice be in vain. I will work hard, live a good life, and honor her memories." Chidimma looks up at the sky. A silent thank you directed her at her mother. Though grief lingers, but a new hope and strength was found. She is free to claim her destiny, a destiny paved with love, hard work, and unwavering spirit of her mother's sacrifice. Years have passed. Chidimma, now a successful potter, sits in her workshop, skillfully shaping a clay on a spinning wheel. A glint of gold catches her eyes. In the clay is a tiny, intriguing, carved golden bead. It triggers a wave of memories. She remembered the day when her mother and her was walking around. She walked past a bead shop when she was small. She stopped to admire a gold bead. She touches the bead, and a man approached her and said to her, "That one catches your eye, child. It is a special bead. It grants wishes, brings good luck, and it comes with a price." Her mother pulls her away from the man and said to her, "Come, Go away from him. We have no need for such things. After she remembered this, she said to herself, Whoa, it was a kweme. So the ritual was done with a bead and my hair. She untangles it. The next day, Ekweme's mansion burnt down to ashes, meaning that Ekweme did the ritual to enrich himself, not the other way around. But he paid the price with his life. The next day, Chidimma stands beneath the branches of the tree, the one where her fate was altered. She holds the golden bead. Nneka, the wise woman, approaches her. She said to her, You have brought peace to this place, Chidimma. The burden your mother carried had finally been lifted. Chidimma said to her, I wonder what would have happened if this bead never existed, if I didn't found this bead when I was craving my pot. The wise woman replied to her, Faith is a curious thing, child. Your path may have not been the one intended, but it leads you to a strength you never knew you possessed. Chidimma said to her with tears, Strength that cost my mother everything. The wise one places a comforting hand on Chidimma's shoulder and said to her, Your mother knew the risk, but a mother's love is a powerful force. It fuels your resilience and guides you through the darkness. Chidimma, years later, now a respected master potter, stand amidst group of women. They are all her apprentices. She passed her knowledge like the stories of our ancestors. She has not only broken free from the curse, but created a legacy of empowering women of resilience in the face of hardship, and a life lived with meaning. If you enjoy this epic tale of sacrifice and redemption, please don't forget to subscribe for more interesting stories like this. Show some love for these epic tales by giving it a thumbs up. Share these captivating tales with your friends and family who love good adventure. Don't forget to tell us where you are watching us from. Bye.